Hey girl, hey. Okay, so this is Dr. Sasha Rogers and I am back um for what is this? Podcast Thursday. Now, if you are new here, welcome. We do interesting medical topics that are sometimes taboo, and we do them with good vibes and a lot of comedy. If you are not subscribed to the channel, pause the video and go and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, go and join as a member. And either way, pause the video and like it, okay? Now, y'all are going to want to pass this one along. Y'all know that we are very inclusive on this channel. I don't shut nobody down. We love everybody. We're lovers of everybody here. So, we always do female topics and different things that we're going to want to hear as females and things that you guys want to, learn and understand about yourselves, maybe your daughters, whatever the case may be. But today, we're going to cater to boy moms, okay? Because think about it. All the time we talk about girl dads, and sometimes it's some things that you ladies don't know. You were never taught, so you can't teach your daughter. So we try to, get in there and say, okay, let's help everybody out. Well, today we helping out the boy moms, okay? Because it is a challenge. It is a challenge when you are dealing with boys. And when I say a boy mom, it's not to say that dads are not present, but if dad is not present, then it's even more challenging because there are some things, that are code for men or code for males that we may not necessarily, I'm sorry, I had something on my leg, that we may not necessarily know or be privy to, right? And unless they have a strong positive male in their life, which child these days is getting fewer and fewer out there. Great granddaddies and granddaddies are getting too old. You don't want them learning nothing from the YNs and that little weird phase in between. I think you're supposed to pay the bills and you don't want your son learning that. It's just stuff. So I want to put some stuff out there, at least what I can put out there from a physician's perspective about boy hygiene, some things that we need to get with as women as far as male etiquette and stuff. Okay, so first and foremost, let me explain something to you. If you are raising a YN, that means you got a 13, 14, 15-year-old and they for the streets. They got the face mask on, the pants dropped, they got weapons, they got this. I don't know how to communicate with you. I don't know how to help you, sis. This video is for the little boys. It is for the middle school boys. It is for the boys. The YNs are grown men. I don't really have nothing for you. Sorry. Now, but let's get back to males. First of all, I want to start off early on when we talk about males or little boys. Let's talk about their doctors, because what you should be doing early on is really trying to have them develop strong relationships with other men, to know how to coexist with other men, right? And even like if you have 4 kids and you got 3 girls and you got a boy, I'm sorry, ma'am, you just have to go the extra effort and find a male pediatrician. If at all, if you can find a male pediatrician. I don't know, they might not be out there. I want you not taking your baby to the doctor because you can't find a male. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with female pediatricians, but I'm just talking about developing relationships and developing code and certain things that a male doctor is going to ask them that a female doctor is not going to know to ask them. And I'm not saying medically, I'm saying socially. Does that make sense? So start to think about the way in which they're communicating with other men early on. And if you can put them in a good place with that early on to develop possible mentors or to develop relationships with men, please consider that. Be like, I don't want to have to go out over here for this doctor, over there. Child, how many times you take these kids to the pediatrician in a year? Because if you're taking them a year, something going on at the house. Get your vents cleaned or something. Get clean out your vents. Okay, wipe down the walls, because you shouldn't be taking these kids to the doctor that much. Now, barring anybody with any medical conditions or anything like that, Those are outliers. I'm talking regular jugular situations. You shouldn't be taking them kids that much where it causes an imposition for you to take your girls one place and possibly your son somewhere else. Just saying that. Also, different things like the barbershop. I'm going to say this. While your son is a young and can't really kind of advocate for himself, yes, you should be at the barbershop with him sitting right there. Line him up like this, Bruce. Bruce, hit that edge right there. Don't just come around in a circle having him looking crazy. And wipe the white line off. If you don't send my baby out here with the white line until Bruce know how to cut your baby hair. But once your son gets of age, middle school, 8, 9, 10, there are things that males talk about at the barbershop. They curb their language when women are present. And there are things that they talk about, but he's going to hear it somewhere. When you got this social media stuff going on, when you got all this craziness, you can't really shield him from a lot of stuff. But you want him to be able to communicate with men without you being there, without being gun shy, without knowing how to not knowing how to respond because my mom is present and I don't want to say this. So allow him that time with males so he can see how they interact. And they're gonna say so young blood or whatever they call, because I'm showing my age right there. That was like a 70s term, whatever. Young blood, young bull, whatever. In Philly is young bull. It might even be something else now. It might be cousin. I don't really even know. But the point is, they're going to say youngin. What you say about that youngin, what you think about that youngin, and it's going to engage him in understanding male camaraderie, rhetoric camaraderie, understanding you don't need to be scared of the barbershop. They yell, they scream, they act like they about to fight. That's just conversation at the barbershop, okay? So just things like that. I know you want to protect them, but okay, Bruce, call me when he done. Make sure you take care of my baby. All right, I'm out of here. And Bruce been cutting his hair since, but let him have his moment with Bruce, especially if Bruce is a good, decent brother. If he not, but if Bruce is a good, decent brother, give him his space. Now, schools. I want to talk about schools. We're going to get to hygiene, y'all. Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. We're going to get to sex. We're going to get to hygiene. We're going to get to all of that. But it's a couple of things I want to touch on before that. Schools. Now, this is very, very, very tough, especially for mothers who may be a little bit more accomplished or may have a little bit more resources. When we are finding schools for our sons, I know sometimes mixed schools are synonymous with having better education. Why? Obvious reasons. They're not going to put the resources in, all black neighborhoods. They're not going to put the books there. They're not going to put the good teachers there. They're just not. And so I think a lot of times in order for us to feel like we are educating our children properly, we have to put them in those types of schools. Unless, you have a magnet school, a seriously magnet school that your kid is able to get into, and it's all different types of races because it's a magnet school. But if not, and it has to be like a tuition type of thing or a private school type of thing, listen, please go the extra effort and don't just, on school they had this and their score said this and their score said this, and you put your one black kid in a class with 30 white kids and no black teachers, and that kid feels alone and that kid feels isolated and they're treating that kid a particular kind of way. Go and see what the culture is of the school. See what the rules of engagement are. Like, okay, so somebody does something to my son and I come up here, because he might not fight, but I do. I'm a fighter. He might not, but I'm going to get active up here. Then you need to know what the rules are. Like, y'all not going to expel my son for defending himself against a racial slur or against kids jumping him. And y'all not going to try to act like, oh, look at the animals when I come up there and punch his mama in the face, because it can get like that. So you need to, even if it is a mixed school, how are they going to protect your kid? How are they going to protect his self-esteem? Like, because it's not just about, oh, we're accomplished, we got money, he go to school with this kind of people and that kind of people. No, because you can have a child that comes out of school but is so damaged and is so broken because of what's been said to him that he didn't tell you, or what energy was passed to him that he didn't tell you. Y'all know we got to work double hard to get half the recognition. Well, you don't want this kid to have to do double the work and getting B's, and kids who are doing less the work and getting A's. We don't want to put him at that type of disadvantage early on. So I get that we may have to have our kids in these environments, but see what the protection is. See what the rules are. See who's running these schools. See what the teachers look like. You can pick up the vibes. You know who's who. Okay, you know who might be okay at the cookout, and then you know who was at the Capitol on the 6th. So it's worth putting some work into it and evaluating and investigating, and not just throwing money at it and thinking it's going to be all right. Let's not do that. Because it can really cause a trauma. And if you're really in a situation where you kind of don't have much of an option, try and make a lot of their extracurriculars around other Black people, like if there's an what is it, an intramural, or like a neighborhood track team, a neighborhood basketball team. I'm not saying you got to take them down to Cabrini Green. I ain't saying you got to take him, he got to be on Rikers, JV team. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is just that you want him somewhere where he's comfortable and he can be his best self and he can flourish, and he can feel loved and accepted. And if that's not fully in his educational environment, reassure it at home, and make sure you reassure it with other activities that he's doing. Does that make sense? Because feeding his spirit and growing his esteem and growing you can tell a young man who has that when he holds his head up and he speaks to you. If you get somebody, yeah, ma'am, and the head down, no, because he's broken. He's broken. And I will say in a minute, young man, hold your head up. Hold your head up. I can't understand you. Look at me when I'm speaking to you. Let's talk. It's okay. And sometimes they will. Sometimes they can't even sustain eye contact. But early on, don't break your kids thinking you're doing something magical for them because you can put them in environment. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So now, one of the biggest things, and as a society, that one of the biggest things we focus on is aesthetics. We do. We think that if you look good, you smell good, you good. That's why half of us got the man problems that we got. Oh, he look good, girl. Oh, he smell good, girl. Yeah. But we are an aesthetic people. Okay. So at the end of said day, it's worth starting your sons out very, very, very early with good hygiene, right? Because I think a lot of times it's like you go from washing your own kid to then throwing them in the bathroom and say, go wash yourself, as if they're supposed to learn by osmosis, as if they're supposed to just learn because you know what to do. And, I think sometimes mothers, and then sons too, if there's no dad around, once they get a certain age and their little situations start to grow or whatever, they start to feel like, I don't want you to see my stuff. And you like, child, I don't want to see your stuff. But at the end of the day, early on, start them with habits early on so they'll grow into those habits. A couple of things when it comes to little boys. Boys are easier in ways, but then harder in other ways, honey. Child, let me tell you, let's get to the hygiene of it. So first of all, you want to make sure that little small things are second nature. Wash your hands. You just walked in the house, wash your hands. You came out the bathroom, wash your hands. Be on these boys about washing their hands, because I'm going to tell you, the little girls, they need to know, pay attention to him. Did he wash his hands? When you went to dinner with him, did he get up and say, oh, excuse me, let me go wash my hands? Because he done touched the car door, he done touched the door at the restaurant, he done touched his cell phone. I'm sure he done touched his Peter Weeder. Did you see him wash his hands before he put fork to mouth? So you don't want your son to be that boy, okay? And you don't want ringworms and all these rashes on his face. You don't want that. You don't want that, okay? So make sure that every time did you wash your hands? When he gets in the car from school, before he touched that snack that y'all should have in the car for him, but before he touched that snack, hand sanitizer. Lysol wipes, something, but get them hands clean, get it together. Be on him about clean hands early on, because that's really where a lot of it starts. Be on him about clean hands, okay? And because that way you don't have to deal with like the dirt under the fingernails, because if somebody got dirt under their fingers, baby, what you had to be touching, what you had to be doing, that you got enough bacteria on your hand that it done crawled up under your nails and sat there. Like, so that lets you know right there. It's like for me, it's like a cleanliness measure. Have dirt under your fingernails. It will be the last time we talk because you're dirty. I'm just saying. Anyways, okay, so also bathing should at least be a daily thing. Now, in the summertime, it got to be twice a day. I'm sorry, they wake up, they got to be twice a day. Get your behind in that shower. And sometimes, ladies, y'all have got to check because these boys will be sleepy for school in the morning. They'll turn the water on and they'll be in the bed asleep. You hear the shower, you think they're in the shower. They not. They in the bed asleep. Okay, they dirty by nature. I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but they dirty by nature. Fellas, if you watching this, I know you agree with me. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to be honest. Your son is just dirty by nature, so you got to break that, okay? It is your responsibility. And even if dad is around, it is your responsibility, all right? Now, so we want to at least in the wintertime, we want to have some daily bathing, okay? Shower, but they can take a bath. Boys can really take a bath, and I would probably recommend once a week, get in the tub. Get in the tub. And I'll tell you, after they get in the bathtub and they're done washing, have them stand up and rinse all that off in the shower. Just let it all rinse off. Because you've been sitting in dirty water. You know, but you've been sitting in dirty water. So stand up, let all that rinse off while the bath water is running out. Okay? So that's something to consider. Now, I want to talk to y'all about circumcision versus non-circumcision, and how a male, if you do not know, how a male should be cleaning their penis. Okay, so first of all, I don't know who in this 2025, well, some cultures don't do it. Like a lot of Hispanic cultures don't do it. Caribbean cultures don't do it. Some African cultures don't do it as far as circumcising is concerned, right? But in this 2025, most males are going to be circumcised. But if not, there are a couple of things, and if your child is not circumcised, there are a couple of things that you really need to be cognizant of, and it is really, really, really important when it comes to hygiene for uncircumcised men. Now, hygiene is important for all men, but I'm talking about in particular, there are a couple of things that you need to worry about when it comes to uncircumcised males. So first of all, an uncircumcised male, because the skin of the foreskin, the cells in that skin are different than the skin of the remainder of the shaft of the penis. Different, girl. Very receptible to things. Very receptible. So, if your son is uncircumcised, he's at increased risk for urinary tract infection, and he's also at increased risk for contracting HIV. And the reason for that is, like I said, the cells of the foreskin are much more susceptible, and then the foreskin sustains trauma during intercourse, and you get little micro cuts, little micro abrasions, which makes it easier for HIV to get in. So especially if you got that uncircumcised male, better. All of them need to be putting on a condom, but really an uncircumcised male should be wearing condoms. But anyway, we'll get to that. So when it comes to bathing, how do you bathe a penis? So first of all, obviously we'll get some soap. Y'all know how I feel about a good washcloth. Y'all know how, and yes, y'all sons can use the Clean and Key body wash bar. It smells good, but he can use that. So the thing is that get you some soap, whatever kind of soap. Now, males are different because they're really not restricted to the kind of soap that they can use unless they have a skin issue, unless they have like an eczema, unless they're allergic to things. Then you want to be very, very mindful about what soap you use with them. For the most part, they're not like us. They're not going to get the itchies, the burnies, the vulvitis, the vaginitis. Child, they're not like us, okay? In the words of Kendrick Lamar, they're not like us. They're not going to get that. They can use body wash. They're good. Now, again, it has sodium lauryl sulfate in it, which is not great. But if they have to use it, it's not going to cause them any harm per se. Okay? So make sure it's nice and lathered up. Get all lathered up. And obviously they wash their body, but they have to wash the penis. If they're not circumcised, they need to pull back the foreskin. They need to clean the foreskin, clean around the foreskin. They need to clean the actual head of the penis. And here's the gag. They need to then pull the foreskin back and clean the remainder of the penis, and then pull the foreskin back. Make sure it's all rinsed off. No soap is in there. No soap is remaining. So you want to make sure it's clean, washed, rinsed, and pull the foreskin back. Got it? Because you can really cause some trauma if you leave that foreskin, you know, and it usually doesn't stay anyway, but if you leave that foreskin pulled back, problematic. So you want to pull it forward after you clean all that off and everything is clean. They want to lift up the testicles. You do not want sweaty, mangy, smelling like mold, mildew in the back of earrings behind them balls, okay? Tell them to lift the balls, testicles, whatever you want to call them, the junk, lift it up and get up under there. Get up under there, okay? All right, and then get in that booty. Now, the thing is that we want to instruct males because they are minimalists. We want to instruct males to at least wash your whole body 2 to 3 times, okay? The whole body. Now, Mom, won't you get one of them little brushes or one of them little scroller pad things or a brush so they can get the back? Because what you do not want a child light skin in the front and dark skin in the back. Okay? We don't want that. So, and I don't care what color you are, but we want the whole body the same color. I'm just saying. So make sure they got some soap and they getting that back. Because I know the back be itching when it be dirty and sweaty. Make sure they getting that back. Because what I want you not to do is have them been 10, 12 and you come in there to wash their back. Girl, go in your room somewhere and let that boy get that back. Okay? So make sure they're washing 2 or 3 times, lifting up the testicles and getting up in that butt crack. Tell them get up in that butt crack. Get up in there and then wrench it out. They got to wrench out the butt crack too. Wash it. Get up under your testicles. All that should be, all where the hair grows, all that should be lathered all up with soap. Get it down. Okay? And then they want to rinse all that off. Rinse the booty crack out, lift the testicles up, rinse all out, make sure no, and if you got a handheld in your shower, that's even better because they can grab the handheld and get all up and through there, lift it all up, get all up in the booty, all that. Okay? Now, a couple of things. I saw something on, and that's when I started realizing how dirty people really are. What's this child's name? Kelsey Handler, whatever. So she was doing a topic on her show, and it was like, when you're in the shower, like, do you wash your elbows? What? Like, it's on your body. Like, it's by your arm. Like, why would you not wash it? Like, what did it do to you? And so they were like, do you wash below your knees? I just be getting so disgusted because what is happening? What is happening? Soap don't cost that much. But anyway, so my thing is, and they were like, oh no, rinse it down. Just rinse it. No. Wash them legs. Again, you got a light-skinned child and their legs is dark-skinned. That's dirt. Okay, so no, wash the legs. You could always tell people they leg color be looking funny when they be taking whole baths. No, you need to wash your legs. And for males, because, and not just males, but we talking about males right now, their athletes' feet be real. It be real, them feet be stinking because they be dirty. Okay, and then you put more socks on it and then they sweat. And then you got the dirt and you got the sweat. No. So what I need for you to tell them, wash your feet, baby, and get in between them toes. But when you get out the shower, it's very important that you dry in between those toes too, so we don't have fungus growing. We don't have any athlete's feet. You want to get in there. You want to wash them down. Wash those feet down. Okay, and boom, there you go. Okay, you got it. So we washing the underarms, we washing everything, and it should be, you tell them 2 to 3, they're gonna do it 1 to 2. Okay, now as far as hair is concerned, now obviously if you somewhere where the temperatures are cold and they're bathing in the morning, we don't want them shampooing their hair in the morning. But again, they can shampoo their hair in the evening. They can shampoo. Please do not let that baby only wash their hair when they go to the barbershop or only once a week. That's why they be stinking. You can see when somebody walk past you and they got stinking hair, it's like, ooh. And the hair perfume, I get it, but let's not use hair perfume. Let's clean the hair. Like, what's the real problem? So, yeah, make sure these boys are washing their hair. They need to learn that. Wash your hair, okay? So between the washing the hair, okay, and make sure, Mom, what you can do is like, boy, your ears is dirty. Why are your ears dirty? Make sure when they finish that thing up, they get in between those ears. Start this stuff early so it'll be like second nature to them. So by the time they thing is big enough where you don't want to see it and they don't want you to see it, this is a routine for them. This is a routine. Now, Mom, a couple of things as far as cleaning their room is concerned, because what we don't want to do is put a clean body on a dirty bed, okay? A couple things that people don't realize they should do. Please spray your bed down with Lysol, your actual mattress. Spray it down with Lysol. Let it dry. You know you can vacuum your mattress. You should, because between all the dead skin cells and all the sweat and all, vacuum your mattress, okay? And so for the boys, spray that thing down with Lysol. The pillows too. You know you can put pillows in the washing machine. I tried it before. My pillows, I don't know, that ain't really end up. But I get my pillows from Home Goods, so maybe they was cheap. I don't know. I haven't graduated to the point in my life where I'm spending $90 for a pillow. I'm sorry. Now, if there's a pillow company out there that wants to send me a pillow for $90 to change my mind, then feel free, okay? Feel free. Contact my people. But I'm going to tell you what, when it comes to me, I'm about a 2 for $24.99. I'm just saying. I don't even want to buy the $40 one on Amazon. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm going to Home Goods and get the 2-pack for $24.99. That's probably why they ain't end up real good in the washing machine. So I just throw them away and get some new ones. But, you know, when it comes to these boys and this acne and this body acne, baby, I told you. So they stink. They dirty. So spray this mattress with Lysol. Get all that stank smell out of it, okay? Don't be scared to wash their sheets once a week with Clean and Cute Home, okay? But nevertheless, clean their sheets, clean their linen, okay? And again, clean the pillows too, not just the pillowcases. Clean the pillows, those oils from their hair, because you know some think they fine, and they done put the little wax or whatever it is to lay it down. I don't know what they do, but the little waves and all that, and the wave cap with the oil and so make sure these sheets and these, because the pillowcase, you come in there and see some white pillows, pillowcases is gray. That shouldn't be, ma'am. That's all you, because he ain't gonna do it. That's all you. So once a week, come change them sheets. For the Lysol, everything. Don't go for breezing. Lysol. Now, once you done Lysol stuff and we done killed some germs, then you can Febreze their curtains. You can Febreze their little rug. Or whatever the case may be. You can Febreze their headboard if it's a fabric headboard or whatever. But you want to clean with Lysol up in their room, okay? That's the thing. Also, start your boys out early wanting to smell good. Now, you ain't got to go buy them no cologne. You ain't got to be on no Blue de Chanel, which is one of my favorites for the boys. That Blue de Chanel ain't playing with nobody, okay? I done bought a bottle or two in my time. It's all bad. Now, anyways, back to what we talking about. You don't have to buy cologne for them, okay? You don't even got to buy a little, you know, the oil from the Muslims and that. You ain't got to do all that. If you just want to, I think like, what do you call these people? Like Old Spice and Old Spice on the comeback. Don't be laughing at Old Spice. They stuff smell good. But if you like, whatever, they have like a body spray. They have body spray, like in the men's section, in the little men hygiene section, they have body spray. So after he get out the shower, I'll be like, where your body spray at? You know, in his little pajamas or whatever. Spray his little pajamas down, Mom. Show him how to do it. Lay it out. You put these pajamas on. Spray his little body spray on there. Spray his little body spray on himself. Make sure he sprayed on his head or whatever. Maybe he might smell like it when he get up and go to school in the morning, whatever. But get him used to good smells. So when it don't smell good, he like, what? If he goes to a girl house and it's like, oh, what y'all got going on here? He'll know. If you start him off in a particular kind of way, he's going to continue to come up in that kind of way. 16-year-old boys, they ain't just start being dirty. They was dirty at 10, and you ain't correct that, Mom. You ain't correct. You ain't said nothing. You act like you ain't see it. You ain't had time. So if we don't want stinking teenagers that stank up our house, that walk past, they embarrass us, they can't go to church without, they just, I mean, they got them little small white heads all over the place because they dirty. Start them young. I'm just trying to tell you, start them young, okay? Another thing, so once we kind of get of age, and just like with the girls, you know, guys, boy moms have a question. When do I start talking to these boys about sex? Because, you know, again, back in the day, and I'm showing my age, you know, 14, when high school came around, 14, 15, 16 is when, you know, you start talking about sex. Child, 14, 15, 16, these people got 2 and 3 kids, a mortgage, you know, a probation officer and everything else, honey. So, unfortunately, it's one of those things that you have to start talking about sex in late elementary school, early, and I would say like the fourth or fifth grade is a good time to start talking about things and start introducing things. Not like now. So let me tell you, she tried to get you some coochie. No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. That's slow down, sis. I'm talking about, first of all, you want to, and in this day and age, y'all, it's a whole different conversation. That might be a whole nother damn video, but be sex positive. And what that means is you have to let your kid know that no matter what their feelings are, no matter who they are, no matter who they perceive themselves to be, that you love and support them. Now, you might not really feel that way. Who they think they are may go very much against your beliefs. It may go very much against your religion. It may go very much against how you feel like you raised them, or whatever the case may be. All that aside, at the end of the day, you're their mom. And acceptance starts, or dad, whoever's watching the video, but acceptance starts with you, right? And at the end of the day, oftentimes I feel like it's not our place to decide whether something is right or wrong. It's our place to be a good person and love somebody because they're a good person, or love somebody because they deserve to be loved. It's not necessarily our place to say, oh, I don't agree with that. Oh, it's right. It's wrong. That's not right. Okay. Because the same thing that says, don't do this and don't do that and don't do that. It's the same book that says judge not and love your neighbor. So let's be sex positive. And you can pray about what you want to pray about. You can go in the war room and cry. You can sage. You can put stuff at the altar. Okay, you can fast. You can do all that, but do it in private. And make sure that baby knows that regardless as to what came out of their mouth, you love them. You love them. You love them unconditionally, because that is what's important. And again, no matter who they think they are, and how does this conversation start as far as self-esteem, how they go in the world, how they deal with their sexuality and anybody else's, it is about the love and acceptance that they find at home, where they're supposed to find it. So that's one thing that I really, really, really hope that I can impart on you guys, being sex positive, and taking the time to say what he said now, because a lot of the stuff, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, okay? And I show my age. When people come into the office, they're like, oh, I'm fluid, but I this and I be like, wait, let me get a pencil, because it turned into a damn algebra problem sometime. Now you this, but you're attracted to this, but you were assigned this, but you live as this. I don't really care. What I'm trying to figure out is what behavior is it that I need to protect you from. I don't care who you love. It ain't my business, okay? So if you love a giraffe, he might be better than the person that I'm in a relationship with. I don't know. I don't care. But the point is that how can I help you? That's all I care about. And a lot of times I think if we came from that constructive place versus imposing our only thoughts, beliefs, and desires on somebody else, especially our children and our loved ones, we wouldn't have the problems that we have. But anyway, so let's move on. A couple of the things, we want to start out with the whole being sex positive and all the things. And then you ask them, like, do you have any questions about, your penis? Do you have any questions about how it works? Do you have any questions about what to do with it? Do you have any questions? Start asking them, but ask basic questions. Just ask basic questions. And again, if there are people who are in his life, make sure that you have a conversation with those people before they have a conversation with him. Because oftentimes these males, sometimes in their views, you like, I don't want to have, listen. So the hole's gonna roll up on you. No, hold up, everybody freeze. Everybody freeze for I air it out in here. That's not how you gonna talk to my child. So at the end of the day, make sure if there is somebody who is a mentor, is gonna have certain conversations with them, that you are abreast of the conversations they're gonna have and the language that they're going to use, okay? Because that is very much gonna determine and inform how they think. Also, one of the biggest things that you can really do to get in a space of your child, like get in your child's head. Listen to them, learn their language, like what's happening with Gen ZA. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. First of all, the fact that you got on a sweatshirt, a wool hat, the hood is on your head, and your hands is in your pocket, and the rest of us got on linen sundresses, and we hot. I don't know what's happening, because do you feel what we feel? Is your reality the same as ours? I don't know how to talk to you. Okay, I'm gonna just let you know. But it's your responsibility, Mom, because that's your kid. Not my responsibility. I'm just gonna look at you and pray for the best. But at the end of the day, you want to learn their language, because what you want to do is you want to get in his head and be able to, because somebody at school gonna say something, and they're gonna say some nonsense, and it's gonna be some craziness. So you want to get in front of that by saying, okay, so Raheem gonna tell you that when you nut, this is gonna happen. But let me tell you the truth. He's going to listen to you if you're speaking his language. If you say, well, when your friends tell you about ejaculation, he ain't heard nothing you say. He don't really care. You don't understand his plight. It wasn't like this. How it was when you was young ain't how it is now. You don't know. You don't know. So listen to his language. So when you pose things to him, like, this person gonna say this to you, this how you answer that question. This person gonna say that to you. This is the real truth. You have to use their language. Okay? Just like anybody, you got to meet people where they are. You know, when I see patients in the office, I listen to you. But like the first 10 or 15 minutes, I'm sizing you up. I need to figure out your education level. And when I say education, I mean your verbal education. You could be very smart, but if you speak in a certain way, I got to speak the way you speak so that we can be here. We can be here. And I can understand when people are trying to talk up here, but the education level is down here. I'm going to come down here with you, sis, because all this up here is the front. So you have to size up your kid, figure out your kid, and converse with your kid in a way that he's going to understand. If you're sex positive, even if you go in a room and cringe and be like, "Ugh," if you're sex positive and you're using his language, he's going to tell you everything. He's going to be open with you, and then you'll know what's popping. Okay? So I hope this was good. If I missed anything, please y'all drop in the comments down below, because the more I talk, the more I learn from y'all, and the more I can help other people, because I'll incorporate other stuff in the next time I talk about some stuff. So I hope this was a blessing for somebody. I hope this helped a boy mom somewhere. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, don't forget, if you're coming to the retreat, we're winding down to the end of this thing, honey. We are getting so tight on space. But again, go to cleanandcute.shop and go hit the shop tab, and the retreat tickets are in the shop tab. And we're going to kind of wind it down with the retreat in the next couple of weeks. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you back next week. Bye.